Hello everyone and welcome to another video, but this time it's a special video because for some time now I had a wish to show you guys and share with you guys another part of gaming which created who I am today and which influenced me during the years, and that is browser gaming. There's not much on YouTube about browser gaming. There are some videos, but as I said, not many, and certainly not many about the games that really deserve it. So let's start like this. You and I both know that there's a lot of shitty games around the internet. Around these games usually look like this. They're stupid. They have no... Well, they basically... A great example of these games is Farmville on Facebook. So these games I hate, but there are some games which really deserve some attention, and when you give them your time and deal with them for several weeks, you will find out that they are pretty fun and can entertain you. And I've been playing several of these games for years now, and I had an idea that I might share one with you guys and see what you think about it. So let me show you this game. The name of the game... did I misclick? Yeah, I misclicked. The name of the game is AirlineSim. It's a simulator, I would say, well, more like an economic game. Now, hold your horses, I can already see that some of you probably were like, AirlineSim, what kind of a game is that? Yes, it's a game about airlines. You create a virtual airline and you run it. But there's a lot of games, I saw like 10 maybe, that try to deal with this topic and try to, get some players and stuff. But AirlineSim is the one that's been on the market for almost 10 years. I personally met the developers, and the game is in constant upgrading. They're still doing their job, and the game has become something of a jewel. So think of it as... Well, if you ever played Transport Tycoon Deluxe, if you played SimCity, if you ever did something like Industry Giant, I can guarantee you that if you give this game a thought, you might really like it. Now, bottom line, nobody is paying me for this thing, and even though I met the developers, they never asked me to do this. I actually asked them if I could make a video about the game, and they accepted, because I really think this has a lot to offer. So, what's AirlineSim like? Let me show you the title page. It's simple. It's just www.airlinesim.aero, where you can see there are updates and everything here. And these are the game worlds you can play on. I tried several. I played on Nicosia, Croydon. I played on Tempelhof, and also on Stapleton, and I think I played shortly on Idlewild, but I'm not sure. Anyways, these numbers show the number of active players, not airlines, just players. And the other part is the maximum number of people who can play on the server. You can see that Stapleton, which is the youngest server, is now completely full, so you can join it. But the number of players is not always what matters. All of these servers are very old, and as well as these ones, if I remember right, first of them were Kaitak and Idlewild. Then there was Devau and Fornebu, then Nicosia, Croydon, Tempelhof, and Stapleton. Tempelhof and Stapleton were started after I joined the game, so in the past 2 years, Stapleton almost recently, and a lot of players moved from the old servers to Stapleton. This is a reason. Let me show you how this thing works. So you select a server, let's say Croydon, because Croydon is the one I'm playing on now. I'm gonna show you everything on here. You log in, you have to register as is normal with these kinds of game. Come on. Okay, let me just sign in. and voila, this is the title screen. If you're still watching, continue. I'm gonna explain almost everything, so you know, don't feel like oh, what's this then? I'm gonna explain everything. Just hold on. First thing that I would like to show you is the creation of the airline. It's nothing hard. It's really simple. You just choose parent company. You name it. So wait, let me go through this with you guys. Let's say no parent company. We're gonna name our company. Well, actually, Central European Airways is a company I had on several servers. CA code, let's say CA, and then you choose headquarters. Let's say Prague, which is my home city. No, come on. Oh, somebody's using CA. Come on. So let's do CEE. Okay. Prague. It shows you some stuff about it and the traffic rights. We'll get to all that later. And you found an enterprise. It's this simple, and now there's the company, Central European Airways CEA, with 10 million AirlineSim dollars. Now, that's not much, even though it may seem like a lot. It can only allow you to get like free jet, big, no, not big, middle, free middle, or one big, or several small airplanes with which you have to survive, and it's not something simple. Let me show you why. This game is incredibly, and I mean really incredibly, detailed when it comes to the country numbers and airports and the demand which is taken from real life sources. So for example, if you guys are, for example, from Panama, there's 24 airports in the game which are in Panama. The game will show you all the details about the country. I'm sorry, my internet sucks tonight. I don't know what, maybe my girlfriend's downloading something. It shows you all the possible airports in the game which are modeled. So there's two airports in the capital Panama City. There's the airport Tucumán and there's the airport Paitila. And there's a lot of other airports. All of these are actually really small. You can see they're just farm tracks. And this is the only, well, these two are the only airports. And I would say that Panama City Tucumán is the only airport which is worth anything, like flying to or doing something. Whatever country, there are all the countries in the world, even North Korea, which has just one international airport, which is Pyongyang, which is it's considered a small airport. But some of the places are insane. Like United States have 687 major airports, Canada 258, and all the islands that are part of United States also have been modeled in the game. So, for example, for Czech Republic, there are all the airports that are currently with the status of international. The same for Slovakia, for Germany, and basically everywhere. I haven't seen an airport once which wouldn't be in the game right now, and they're still putting in more. I think China and India are still not completely covered, but that's understandable as there are so many airports in those countries. So you can see the regions. Guantanamo Bay naval base, so there's even an airport in Guantanamo Bay, but it's really small. Maryland, Louisiana, New Hampshire, all these countries, South Carolina, when you open that one, there's Charleston, Columbia, Florence, Greenville, Hilton Head, and Myrtle Beach. And that's just South Carolina. So based on this, this is the most detailed I've ever seen any game when it's a browser game. Second thing, you can be and play in any country in the world, even North Korea if you dare, but of course some countries are much harder than other. But what makes the game really hard is that there's no no other competition than from players. So every server is just laid out in front of you as the whole world with people which are simulated by the game, and they're trying to get to other places in the world. That might seem a bit overwhelming, but let's see. For example, there are around 430 people in Croydon right now. So, for example, there's probably no airline in Afghanistan. Yeah, there's no airline. Albania? Yeah, there's one airline called United Albanian Airways. If you check, well, they're not operating anything. So this is probably just that airline. Somebody was trying something and forgot to delete it. Algeria, that's I'll get to that in a second. Let's try Armenia. Yep, there's a small airline called Haikakan Miaigain Aviahainer. Oh god, that's a name. So when you see this airline, its head office in Yerevan, country Armenia. Its parent company is Haikakan Aviangiar, and managing director is Retro Vertigo. It shows you a nice map of where this airline is flying to. You can switch between short haul, medium haul, which I guess they won't have any, but they might. Yeah, they are flying to London, and this might be, I don't know, Samara? Let's check the complete complete time schedule. Come on. My internet is appalling tonight. No, it's Rostov. So they're flying to Rostov, and do they have any long haul? They might. This plane 737-900 is actually capable of doing long haul, but nope, they have no. So you can create an airline in any state in the world, wherever you want, and just try to survive there. Now, the game is not only incredibly detailed in what the country looks like and how many passengers are everywhere, but also in the way the airlines compete with each other. There is actually, let me show you some big ones. Yeah, there's a really huge airline in France. There might be actually several. Yeah, so there's this company, Airgeo Landing, Air Nice, VicJet, and YTJet Europe. And now see how many planes this airline has. It's insane. Yeah, it's really insane. When you check the details of this company, you will notice that it's a very old one. It's been on Croydon for, well, at least several years. I know that when I joined, it was already there. Come on. Yeah, YTJet Europe. Yeah, it was founded on 9th of November 2009. And this guy has 894 airpoints right now, which is just insane. Just check out the route map. He's covering basically every place in the world, and he can do whatever the real airline can do. So, for example, if you start in, let's say, let me go around this with my airline. I started on Croydon, I don't know, about half a year ago, maybe. Come on, I'm waiting for you, game. Sorry about this, guys. My internet really sucks tonight. Anybody know a good joke? Yeah, well, this is just embarrassing. Uh, this is the reason why it takes so long to upload sometimes, because my computer just stops. It just stops, and the internet is so slow here in the evening. It's not actually the problem of the house or the line itself. It's just a problem of that this part of city where I'm living is really old, and there are all these family houses here, and I'm living in one of them, and they've been built 30 or 40 years ago. So the connection in these houses is really bad, but everywhere else around us there's high-speed internet. So I'm just in a bad spot. So anyways, this is company I started a long time ago. I was searching. The good thing when you start in this game is to search for a country you are familiar with, a country where you would like to try surviving. This whole game is about prosperity and growing and being economic, because a lot of things can go wrong. So I was searching for a free country, and I stumbled around Algiers. No, Algiers is the capital city, but Algeria. And Algeria is a pretty good and a big country. It has a lot of airports, and it's very big, so it has a huge domestic market. You can see the map that there's a lot of airports. So I started a company called Al-Jazair Airways in Algiers, which is a medium-sized airport. I might explain that these green bars, if you haven't guessed yet, means how big the amount of passengers and cargo is in that airport. So I started in Algiers, and I faced immediately a huge problem, because my main goal and strategy was to do a service for the domestic market, use my money to get some small planes that could fly around Algeria, and also because Algeria is the former colony of France, there is a huge traffic between France and Algeria. But the company I showed you before, YTJet Europe, had all this traffic between France and Algeria covered. So it was really hard, and I was struggling for the first couple of months to deal with this. However, later on, a thing happened. YTJet Europe was sold to a different company, and they lost the traffic rights to transport passengers between Algeria and France. If you're not familiar with the traffic rights, it would help, but it's not necessary. Basically, you just have to remember, you can always transport passengers between your country and other country, but never between second and third country. So if I'm based in Algeria, I can, for example, transport passengers from Algeria to Paris and back, or from Algeria to any city in Germany and back, but I can never transfer passengers from, let's say, Libya to Russia, or from Russia to, I don't know, United States. So I faced this kind of a problem, and this is the thing that game makes for you, because this is the way it works in the real life, and you have to find a spot for yourself. I can already tell you that if you do give this game a try, and I certainly would recommend it, it will take you several days or maybe weeks. For me it was even months before I created a first stable airline, found a spot for me where I could grow. It was not Al-Jazair Airways, that's my sixth airline, and I got stuck with it, and I really like it. I'm gonna show you more about it, but you have to first check. I would recommend, if you're gonna start this, try to search for an area you are familiar with, where there's not much competition, and where you could create a market strategy. For example, if you know your country, and even if it's small, it doesn't matter, you can start small or you can start big, doesn't matter. I saw a guy who started in a company in Helsinki, and his whole market strategy was he found partners around Europe, and he was doing traffic between Helsinki and Hong Kong, and he survived, and it was fun. He had just one big airplane, Airbus 330 400, no, 330 300, yeah, and he had just one line, serviced it with one airplane, and tried to survive. And it's a different market strategy. You can create a low-cost company, a luxury company. They've created a lot of different passengers. The game generates, this is really insane, but each airport has a designated time. I think Algiers has around 19 o'clock. Yeah, that's gonna take some time again. I think the service might be also overloaded because Saturday evening and everybody is probably doing something there. Every airport in the world got a designated time in which it is calculated. They call it a demand calculation, and it demands a certain amount of passengers from your airport to every place in the world. So, for example, from Algeria, there's a whole bunch of people that want to travel around Africa. Well, that's not exactly true, but they would like to travel to France or Spain or around Algeria. But there's also a small amount of people that would like to travel to Russia or even Australia. And the game really does a good time modeling this. Very important thing, other than all the other games, AirlineSim actually models connecting passengers, so it's really important. You can create a wide network and transport, for example, passengers from France through Algiers to Morocco, or through Algiers, if there's from Algiers through, I don't know, Italy to Sydney, and players can sign contracts with each other to work together and help each other in this. So, for example, if you find a big partner that can work with you and who has a huge network and will be able and willing to partner with you, because it costs money for him as well, and usually you're a competition, so not everyone's gonna be really happy about you showing up. But usually people are pretty friendly, so you can, in several weeks, when you're in the game, find real friends and people who will do whatever they can to help you. But my point is, you can create a wide network, and for example, let's say I would start a line from Algiers to Sydney, and there's probably not a lot of people from Algeria that would like to fly to Sydney, but there might be a lot of people from France that would like to fly to Sydney. And if, in case there's nobody in France or flying to France who can transfer these passengers to Australia, they will use your line. There's a really cool thing that's called online reservation system, or they call it ORS, which shows you exactly that. I'm gonna let it load for some time because I really think there might be a maintenance going on. This is not normal. It's going really slow. Which shows you the calculation and, let's say, your luck or your chances. Oh yeah, and there's for performance reason, ORS requests are deactivated right now. So there's probably some maintenance going on behind the server. Anyways, let me show you my company, Algerian Airways, and show you a bit more what I'm talking about. If we can. Yep. So on the info page, you will see all my route network, and yep, here it is. Algerian Airways have 55 airplanes, and I also own 100% of Al-Jazair International, which is my other company. This is the parent company. You can see that I covered in... Holy crap, I'm doing this for a long time now. Wait, is this 8th of April or 4th of August. I'm not really sure. Well, it doesn't really matter. You can see that I have this company for at least half a year now. So what I was talking about is that, for example, I'm flying to Vienna, and passengers from Vienna can decide, when the calculation goes on, that they want to fly to any of these places in Algeria. For example, I don't know, there's the city of Oran, and if they don't find a connection that would take them directly, or that would be much cheaper through Paris or with a better service, they will fly with me to Algiers, and then from Algiers to Oran, or to Morocco, or wherever they want. So the game really gives you a lot of choices how to compete with your competitors, how to fight with your competitors, but better expression. But back to the topic at hand. I saw many times that even a big company in the game could bankrupt. It was here for 2 years, and oil prices going high, their fleet growing old, a lot of small companies popping up. They could take her down. So it's not always about the size of the company. It's a lot about your strategy, and as you grow bigger, you will not be able to manage everything perfectly. So that's one weakness of the big companies. So you can always survive, and that's how I did it. Because when YTJet Europe had to pull out from the Algerian market, it was like a birthday to me. I immediately started servicing all of these cities in France. I'm servicing Paris with Algerian Airways. I'm having 7 or 8 daily flights to Paris. I'm also flying to Nice, Marseille, all the big airports in France, and I'm using those passengers to feed them to Algeria and other places, because I'm a part of Infinity Alliance, and I assume the role of a provider for small African airports. I use smaller airplanes like Canada Regional Jet. I have a lot of smaller ones, 6 of 200s, which are planes for 52 passengers. These fly to Mali, to Niger, to what's this country? Oh man! I also I fly to Cape Verde, and this is, oh man, this is humiliating. I can't remember. Mali, Niger, and that country was. I can't remember. Jesus Christ, how bad it is. You would guess that if I'm studying Mauritania, yeah, of course. So I'm covering these remote parts of Africa. So my partners just have to fly to Algeria, to Algiers in Algeria, and they don't have to use their planes to cover this. So, for example, there's a daily flight from South Korea, from Seoul, a company called Algerian Airways, and I worked with my departure time so that when his big airplane lands in Algiers, my planes are ready to depart and cover these places. So you can work with your friends or your partners in many ways. The game is incredibly, I know I'm using this word a lot, but it's really detailed in so many things. Like, you can easily check if your internet connection allows you, any of your airplanes. You can see, for example, let's choose this one. It's 70 ADA. It's yeah, the plane I talked about, 52 passengers. You can check how many passengers are flying where. So for example, this plane is servicing it's servicing yeah, just two lines. It's flying to Lisbon and it's flying to Bamako. So it's not flying a lot, but it's servicing Bamako, and you can see that it's flying really full. And I should probably add another connection to Bamako when I have enough money, which I don't right now. And it's servicing Lisbon. The Lisbon line is not really all that profitable. Actually, I'm losing money. Yeah, I'm losing $2,000 every time this flight goes off. But you can see that this flight is carrying 22 passengers, which go to external connection. I have a friend in oh no, this is a departure from Lisbon to Algiers. So this goes to Al-Jazair Airways, and 7 goes to me. So pretty much everyone except one person, either economy or business passenger, all of these are connecting. This is what I was talking about. So I'm keeping the flight, as this is really not all that much, and these guys or women or children or whoever they are will fly with a different airplane and bring in the profit on that line. And the partner in Lisbon is a really good guy, so I'm flying this 3 times a day, both for him and me, and we're exchanging passengers like that. Yeah, you can see this one is departing from Algiers, flying to Lisbon, and there's 19 passengers flying from Algiers and connecting, and just 8 guys in this plane are connecting, but 24 are connecting in Algiers. So still, it's worth it. And this one is losing more. What I wanted to show you is as well, check out all these statistics. Each one of them is possible to change. You can see how many revenues you gain per unit. You can set the prices. For example, if this would be too low for me, I could drop it to, let's say, $80 and get the plane full. But I know that I can't, because there's really not much traffic between Portugal and Algiers, especially if you're flying 3 times a day. These guys are probably connecting to my friend's flight to South Africa. No, not South Africa. South America is flying to, if I'm not mistaken, Rio de Janeiro and Brasilia. I'm not sure. We can check it later. Doesn't matter. You can also transport cargo, but this plane is too small to transport cargo. And now there are the expenses. You provide catering. You actually choose what's served, how many meals, what drinks are complimentary and which are not. You check if they get newspapers, if they get magazines. You check what kind of seats are in your airplane, if you're really just giving them crowded seats, small seats where they can get cramps and which are not suitable for long flights, or if you provide luxury seats. But then you can bump up the price. If you can create a I saw a company which was surviving for some time, but then it bankrupted because the guy really didn't had the strategy figured out all that much. But it could work. I was giving a thought to doing that. All business and first class company. He was flying between Paris and New York and Paris and LA, I remember. And he was doing and turning in some really good profit in the beginning, because he had the best service. The plane was had like 60 seats, but they were so expensive. It was the best you could offer your passengers, and there is a special passenger category for this, and because nobody else provided so much in the means of luxury to their passengers, they flew with him. So again, it's all about the possibilities. There's the fuel. The prices have been going up for a long time now, and it's been cutting to my profit margin a lot. There's the ground handling, which is depends on the type of airplane you use. There's the air traffic control, the same. Landing fees, these are subject to the departure and arrival airport. And then there's the indirect cost, branch office, management of the office, maintenance of the plane. You can choose a maintenance provider. Some are better, some are worse. So again, it's up to you. But if the plane isn't too bad of a state, it will get grounded and it can fly until it's repaired. And of course, you pay the crew. And all my planes are leased. I own none. So I'm paying for the lease. Otherwise, this is just showing the depreciation of the airplane because of the whole accounting thing. I'm not actually sure how that's counted. I never owned an airplane in the game, so I always did well with the leases. And you can get rid of the airplane easily. You just cancel the contract and it's returned to the lessor. And the same thing goes for the airport. So, for example, I established kind of a really strong hold in Algiers. There's a lot of statistics you can use, but this airport is basically mine. There's no big competition there. And just today I signed an interlining agreement with a company that's the second on Algiers, which is X1 International, I believe is the name. And they have like 11%, and I have like almost 80% of all the passengers that are generated and transported through and from Algiers. So I'm doing pretty well here. However, my company is going through optimization right now. I canceled a lot of routes. For example, Adrar, which is a domestic city for me, is having only 65% load on the airplanes I'm flying 3 times a day with a small turboprop airplane, and it's too big for this line, and so I'm gonna scale it down to a smaller airplane. The Basel Millhouse route has already been cancelled. You can see it was also not doing so well. Brest in France, I'm still covering, because even though this is really not that much of a full load, it's turning in profit, and almost all of these passengers are connecting, so it makes sense. Dakar as well. Dakar is a home airport for one of the airlines' bigger partners, so they fly Dakar Algiers like 6 times a day. I was trying to get on that line as well, but I obviously don't have enough traffic to do so, so I backed on and let him deal with that. Wayoun in Morocco, that's a really small airport, and I'm having 21 departures every week, so I'm kind of surprised it's still having 70. Niamey. Yeah, Sal is one of Sal is in Cape Verde. I really wanted to make that line work, but it seems like it won't, so I'll probably cancel. I'm losing a big amount of money, and this is serviced by Canada Region Jet 200, so there's one of the smallest airplanes I'm using, and still only, so that's like 10 to 15 passengers in every airplane. That's really terrifying. Vienna is another route I just started, and it's getting better slowly as there's more connection and I'm optimizing the route. Tenerife North 14 flights per week, not all that good. However, a very important thing is that this line is 100% full on the way there. So this is just the statistic for departures from that airport. So we're still not on the statistics side? Come on. They're really doing some kind of a maintenance right now. This is really not normal. I could show you the other company, Al-Jazair International, which is a subsidiary of Al-Jazair. I created this one to make a step on the international market. It comprises fully of the bigger airplanes, 737, and I just acquired a 757 to test the long-haul routes, and if there are any. I actually didn't find any. I was trying to fly to New York, and it was a huge, and I mean a huge catastrophe. I lost 40 to 50,000 every time that plane flew, and there was like only 20 guys every day that would fly on the leg from Algiers to New York City. I was flying to Newark Airport, maybe that was the problem, but JFK is too full. Oh, come on, can't be serious. Yeah, the statistics are for some reason don't work, but the other things are accessible. For every airplane that lands, you of course have to have a slot, like on a real airport. And as 6 o'clock is my fleet arrival time, you can see that at that time it's almost full. They depart at 8, so there would be enough time for the passengers to, you know, change in between the airplanes to connect. And the same at 14 and 16 and 22 and midnight. These other are probably, that's in my competition. I actually don't know who's flying at all this time, but you can see that it's not that bad. Yeah, back to Algerian Airways International. So it's covering more demand-based routes like Algiers to Paris. I'm flying there with 737-900, which is the biggest of the 737 fleet. Also, I'm flying to Dubai, Jeddah, Istanbul, Beirut, and all these other places which yield some kind of a... Well, they yield more passengers. You can see that 737 can have up to 215 passengers. And I have one truly long-haul route, which is serviced by the 757-200, which is leased to me by a partner. You can see that's really getting old. Well, on the long-haul route, 9.6 years is really nothing. I'm flying Algiers to Nairobi, which is actually doing, it's doing well. It's not turning in much of a profit, like $2,000, which is appalling for a long-haul route. However, like 260 passengers are connecting, so that's really helping. And I wanted to show you this, which are the load factors for Al-Jazair International, because this company is really not doing all that well. It's not servicing domestic routes, and it's servicing Spain, Germany, Middle East, well, in Africa, I guess, it's servicing Casablanca, and I think also, no, I didn't switch, I didn't switch the Marrakesh route, so just several of those. Oh, yeah, finally. So you can see this one is doing, the numbers are really not all that good. The route to Antalya, which I started several days ago, is doing really bad. Birmingham was cancelled because it yielded no profit and there was not that many connecting passengers. Düsseldorf was cancelled as well. It was a test route and it failed, as you can see. Lagos was switched to Algerian Airways, and now it's at 100% because it's serviced by a much smaller airplane. Nantes, I'm actually continuing to service as 21 connections a day, and I don't have anywhere to move this plane, so it's better to yield low. Well, it's actually flying at a loss, but yeah, there's a lot of connecting passengers there. Noaccord was cancelled as well and is now serviced by Algerian Airways. Yeah, I started flying to Paris-Bijouy as well, or I hope that's how this is pronounced. So I'm servicing all three airports in Paris now. There's actually one more, but that's not used anymore. I'm having 6 daily connections to Charles de Gaulle. I'm having 2 daily connections to Paris Orly, as that one is closed during the night. And I'm having 2 daily connections to Paris-Bijouy, which will be bumped up to 3 connections a day if I can get an airplane. I was thinking about moving the one from Antalya, but it's this route into Antalya is on a bad time, so I can't switch it to Paris-Bijouy. There would be 2 routes at 8 o'clock and none in the evening. So I wanted to show you 2 more things about this. I'm kind of talking and talking. I'm not sure if you guys get any of this. However, I'm trying to show you all the possibilities and all the small things that this game can hand to you. Yeah, this is Paris Charles de Gaulle, which is one of the biggest airports in the game. New York, Paris, Amsterdam, Frankfurt, Hong Kong, all of these airports look like this. You can see that at some hours, like at 17 o'clock, from 17 to 18, the airport is completely full, and there's just one tiny slot for an airplane to land at Thursday at 17 o'clock. So it's not possible. I was really lucky to steal 6 slots in Paris. And even if there are spaces, it looks like this. Yeah, you can never fly. You could fly like, yeah, probably you could do 3 connections here, then 2 here, and 1 here, or 4 here, 2 here, and here. So it's really hard to master that, and you're on these big airports. You're just waiting for your chance to, get some connections and be able to fly there, because the big airports are the important ones. However, as I said, the company I created before Algerian Airways was called Cape Verde Air. It was a company in Cape Verde. Let me show you the country. Yeah, it's right here. I wanted to show you in comparison, for example, to France. So this is Cape Verde. There's just a handful of airports, and all of them you can see are very small. Sal and Praia are the 2 airports that are, well, negligible regional airports at best. Boa Vista is a really small airport, and São Vicente is even smaller. But I dug up in real life statistics, because this was a challenge for me. So I dug up in Wikipedia and found out that Cape Verde was a Portuguese colony for a long time, and that it's currently having daily connections from Lisbon to Sal. So I started with that, and I also started flights from Cape Verde to Brazil, another Portuguese colony. And I found a partner in both Portugal and in Europe who flew to Lisbon, and I actually made my living of being cheaper than direct flights between Portugal and Brazil. And I connected my passenger. It was a small profit, really small, but I was able to survive and grow on that. And then I started flights to Western Africa. I was flying to Dakar. I was flying to I think I was flying to Bangui and I was flying to Casablanca, and I started flights to New York later on, which were not a huge success, but I was able to make some profit. So it worked, and later on I moved to Croydon. I was having this company on Tempelhof, and I started Al-Jazair Airways. But just wanted to show you that you can, and I have to admit, I had much. Cape Verde Air was the best company I ever run. It was really small, and I really grew attached to it, and it made me happy because I could see how the way it grew, and I counted every passenger, and really tweaked the departure times and worked with my partners the best way I could, and tested routes all the time. Where that's another thing. You will never know, and there's no guide to what airports will work and which will not, because in other server there might have been an incredibly big company in Portugal, and it could have Cape Verde covered, and it would have covered also Brazil, so it would not be possible. I was lucky because the company in Portugal was really small, and it didn't bother itself with Cape Verde. It was flying mostly domestic and Europe, so I had a free spot, and I really made my living of it. I'm gonna try the ORS if it works. Let me see. Algiers to Nairobi in 24 hours. No, it's not working. I might show this later, but it's a really good thing. It shows you exactly how passengers deal with the connection. It shows you every possible connection. So, for example, it would show you. I know this because I checked it 2 days ago. That my direct flight is ranked the best, and also, well, it's not always about the price, but I'm also the cheapest. And then there are possibilities to fly through Italy, through Greece, through Frankfurt, and they were all ranked lower. So the passengers would fly first with me, then they would fly through Italy, then they would fly through Paris. As these flights would be fully booked and not possible, they would choose it. It's not possible for you to get a hold on, because, for example, I have a lot of domestic traffic, and these guys have no other possibility than to fly with me. So I'm really I'm overpricing them. I'm charging them an arm and leg, and I'm really trying to suck them dry because they have no other possibility to fly than with me. But the game automatically generates, they call it the land connection, so you can never really make it better than if the passengers took a bus. So you can overprice them that much that they would get really pissed and took a bus to Algiers and fly from there, because it's possible they can do that. So you have to really, tweak your prices and everything. And so I have no idea how this impressed you guys, if you learned anything from it, if it had any impact on you. I would really suggest that you give this game a try. The game is paid because the developers really put a lot of. They're not working. They're really just keeping the game running. I never saw a crash where the game would just disappear. They have backlogs. They pay for their servers. They expanded. They add new things every other month, I would guess. They add new airports. They talk with the people what they would like to see. They constantly update it. In the time I've been here, I saw the game change so much. So it's not. Also, it's not really expensive. You pay 2 credits for your airline, and you pay 2 credits for activating the server. So, for example, if you have one airline on Croydon, you pay 2 credits for server and 2 credits for the airline. So that's 4 credits. So if you pay €3, you're basically done for a month. So that's really cheap. I usually buy 500 credits, and it lasts me for several months. I don't know when I bought the last one. These are my payments. She's the last one. 2011. Did I buy any? So I guess this one. So I bought 500 credits in November, and it's what, February, and I'm still playing. And I tested a couple of airlines in the meantime. So it's really not expensive if you can play any MMOs. And this game really pulls you in if you like deep economic simulation, and if you like the feeling. One thing I should mention as well is that the game is running in real time. So because there's so many calculation and so much demand, and there's connecting traffic and the ORS and everything, the game is really running in real time. So for example, it's 23:16 game time right now, which is the same as mine at the moment, and you can see arrivals and departures on the airports. The game actually shows you, yeah, you can see that in Algiers, all of the arrivals now, yeah, these have already arrived. So I gained the money and everything for that. You can see the aircraft types, and you can see that what airplanes will depart. It seems slow in the beginning, that you just, you lease 3 or 5 airplanes, you set the routes, and you just wait and see what happens. But in 2 or 3 days you will see if there are passengers, if they're trying to deal with you, or if they're just ignoring you. So you can check the ORS, you can deal with it. And when your airline grows like mine and has over 100 airplanes, you really appreciate that you have enough time to deal with everything. The game is not trying to pull you in. You can never bankrupt from day to day, which is really neat. Other games I played like this are mostly demanding for you to log in several times a day, or at least several times a week. AirlineSim is more like a run. In the long run, if you guys remember when I was in Turkey and on my vacation, and I took the week before and week after off, in that month I didn't touch AirlineSim once, and I just came back and got this whole bunch of things to deal with. But it was cool. The game ran itself, the airplanes flew, and there was no big problems. So yeah, it's really like that. So again, I have no idea. This is a real experiment for me. I have no idea what you took from this. If this was interesting for you, if you're gonna try the game, if you do, there's a 14-day free trial before you have to buy credits. Actually, they give you some credits, and they're enough to have one airline for, I don't know if it's 7 days or 14 days. I think 14 days, but they might have changed that. So you can get really into it. I would be happy to help you. If you actually are looking for engagement in Croydon, I can give you some tips where to start. I can give you advice how to do this. I can make more videos of this game if you would like. Yeah, but you can see me stutter a lot because this is really something new. So I will appreciate your commentary if this had any meaning to you. If you would like to see the other browser-based games I'm playing, there's several. And yeah, if you want to share yours, do a video response. I would like to know, because there's never enough shitty games on the internet, so it's always good to know which are worth trying. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this. I will be glad to inform you of more and talk with you about this. All the best, guys, and have fun.